Welcome back to Giggle and Grow. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Courtney, and we are so excited to be back with you guys today. Morgan, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. It's a Friday. I mean, what could be wrong here? Also, Colorado's 80 degrees. So,
Yes, it's so nice outside. It literally feels like summer, even though normally this time of year it's snowing still. It's kind of crazy, but I'm very excited because that means that my wedding will hopefully be warm. I'm hoping it won't be too hot.
well, guys, today's a really special episode. If you've been following along here, you know Courtney's big day is around the corner. So, today we do want to really dive in even more on this topic, not just the wedding plans that we have, but also just how she's been feeling mentally, emotionally, and just counting down that big day.
Yeah, it's definitely been stressful. I think a lot of girls go through this. And so I'm excited to share my feelings, my perspective, and hopefully how I can help you if you're about to be going through a wedding or if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed with your own wedding plans. Hopefully I can help.
Absolutely. Well, let's get started here. So, Courtney, I want you to share with our followers. I think when it comes to the wedding process and just, I mean, being about 2 months out, right? It's a lot about, okay, what have I done and what is still kind of lingering. So, so
Yes.
far, what have you planned? What is like officially done?
All of our vendors are done. We picked all of our food, our videographer, our photographers, our flowers. I've got all of that stuff done. It's literally the little things I think the that are done last because the wedding seating chart is probably one of the last things that we do. So I feel like for me, that's the most stressful because you're like, I don't want to sit Nancy next to Betty and they don't like each other. Not really, but I think for me, the wedding chart, the little details of how the table setting is going to be set, that's done. Everything from the music that we're picking still needs to be done. We have our ceremony music call next week. So a lot of little things here and there, but overall, I feel really good about where we're at for our vendors and how I was able to accomplish that.
No, honestly, I was thinking back to the wedding process, and when you said seating chart, I was like, oh, nightmare, because it was not that fun for me to put that together. Just, I mean, like you said, there's certain people, you want everyone to have fun, so you're trying to see everyone in the right place, but it just was something that had to linger because you're still waiting on yeses and nos, even though, yes, you have a due date of when to know by, you still have people that kind of are figuring it out. And so, yeah, I mean, I think I've told you this before, but I had a whole table that was almost empty by wedding day just because I was like, I'm done. It's whatever it is, it is. It's just it's happening. People are out, people are in. Is we're leaving it at that. So
That's where I'm getting. And we have 3 people left waiting to get RSVPs. And it's actually, I think we're in a great place because we were really concerned that we were going to be at that 150 mark for our wedding. And we're actually a lot less than that. And I feel really good about that because I know that these people that are going to be showing up for me on my day are really invested in our relationship and really want to see us flourish and be successful and really care about us because it's the people who you don't expect who do show up for you and the people that you think sometimes just it's not right for them in their life at those moments. For everybody listening in, I decided to do my seating chart as a ladder with wine bottles. And I love wine. We're going to Italy for our honeymoon. So I thought this would just be such a nice touch to our wedding and what we're, trying to accomplish. And so what Morgan and I are going to be working on tonight is we have all of these wine bottles we've collected, and we're going to be peeling off the actual labels on these wine bottles. So we will see how that goes. I'm hoping it will be easy because my mother-in-law has already stained this ladder that we're putting all these wine bottles on. And so she's like, we are using that ladder. And so we're going to make it work. I'm very excited.
I mean, if I'm imagining the Pinterest inspo, right, and then imagining what we can create, I mean, if we can bring that to life, it is going to be the cutest thing in the whole entire world. I truly think it's such a good idea for just your aesthetic, the wedding, and honestly, I think it'll just be a really smooth process too.
Very excited. And also today, I have so many fun things I'm doing today. I'm going to get my hair done, and then we are going to my second dress fitting. Morgan is going to learn how to do my bustle tonight. So I'm so excited for that. And I'm so appreciative of you.
When my maid of honor came in and or helped me with my bustle, she was so scared. She was like, I don't know if I'm the girl, if I should be doing this. The lady was like, just take all the videos for everyone. They can help you out. And my maid of honor actually ended up not being the girl that put up my bustle, ended up being my bridal assistant who has been in the wedding industry that was like, bing, 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 bing. And I was like, thank you. I needed
I love
that.
that. Yeah, I will say that this bustle is, I found such an incredible tailor. She does her own personalized bustle, and I know it's like 15 buttons. But I am nervous. Like, I'm nervous to go put the dress on this afternoon and how it's going to fit and how it's going to feel and look. I'm just in awe.
I told you the other day, I think when I put on my wedding dress, it was like that awakening realization moment, like this is real and this is happening. And of course, you kind of have a lot of those as you accomplish things and finish planning other things, right? But the dress, I mean, it's like it's your princess era, it's your bridal era, it's you.
You know, I'm so excited, and I'll bring my veil and my shoes, and you're going to see it all together. And I'm so excited. I really can't wait.
So many tears. I already know it. So many tears. But Courtney, I mean, with all the fun things that we're working on right now, has there been anything that's been like funny, stressful? I mean, even an unexpected moment?
Okay, so for me, one of the most nerve-wracking pieces of everything has been, or not even nerve-wracking, just the most emotional piece has been writing these vows. I really think when I write these vows, it's allowing me to become closer to God. It's allowing me to realize how big of a step that I'm taking into marriage. And it's just really opening my eyes to everything. And it every time I read them out loud or start to write them, I start to tear up and cry and get so emotional. I've been working so hard on them, and I've used, videos to help me. I've used outlines to help me. And I've also, believe it or not, used ChatGPT to help me write an outline for it because I want it to be a certain length. And, we're writing our own vows. It's very important to me and very special. And I know you wrote your own vows. How long did it take you to write those?
Oh my gosh. So a long time. Like I was probably like you were about 2 months out. I really was like, okay, should I sit down and write them? And every time I went to sit down and write them, I felt like I wasn't quite I just wanted to add more. I wanted more. I wanted more. And it was just never perfect to the point where I wanted it to be. And honestly, so I ended up pushing it back until the week of my wedding where I ended up sitting down and fully writing them. Now, that probably took me at least like a couple hours just sitting there trying to figure out what I wanted to write, how to word it. But I waited until actually my wedding morning to write my vows into my wedding book because I just wanted all that feeling, that moment to myself. And I mean, I did cry, so I did it before my makeup. I made sure I did it in a certain order. But no, it was. I'm trying to think because I got you a book. It was like a I don't
Yes,
know, like a two. I don't know what is it, 3 by 4. I don't know how big it is, but it only filled out probably 4 pages front and back. Like I didn't want it to be too long, but I think I look back now and wish I always say I wish I did better. But
no, I thought it was
yeah.
beautiful. I remember hearing
Yeah.
your vows. And I actually used the book you got me for the bridal shower. I've been using it, and I've written everything in there and like rewritten things, started over. So I think I'm going to use that entire book
I
to
love
write all of it. And then on the very, like, my goal is like the last couple of pages to like rewrite the whole thing and have the whole thing on the last couple of pages. But I kind of want to look back and see the process of creating the vows and always have that.
I think that is such a good idea. And I will tell any girl moving forward to do that too, because now I wish I would have done that.
I would suggest getting a little book or telling your friend to get you the book for a shower gift and then writing it from beginning to end in the book and being okay with messing up and being kind of sloppy here and there because that is what marriage is going to look like. You're going to mess up, you're going to have issues, and I think it's all about getting to a place where you really appreciate what you've written and what you put, the time you put into it. And you can see all this time and effort that it took to get there. And I would really advise girls who are listening in, write your own vows in your vow book. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up, and you'll be very happy.
I love that. Yes, everyone do that. Us girls will help you out. We got you for your next wedding.
Yes, I
um,
agree.
well, before we can transition to just how you are feeling, Courtney, I know we've probably discussed this a little bit on our wedding topics on these calls or on these podcasts, but I want you to tell our followers what your vibe of the wedding is.
So I think the overall vibe is very rustic feel, a very mountain-esque feel, and very American, honestly. Every time I think of barbecue, I think of very American culture. And I am an American through and through, and I love American culture and I love our country. And I love that barbecue is such a Southern thing. And so we have barbecue thrown in there, but we also have such a luxurious ceremony where it's in my fiance's parents' backyard, but they have this mountain view of the Flatirons in Louisville. Absolutely gorgeous. And so we're going to get some of that mountain-esque vibe. And then we're going to go into the reception being more rustic, fun, and a little bit of Southern vibes. Like we have a guest book, but we have a barrel, which is a Kentucky bourbon barrel that has our names and our wedding date carved into it. And so everybody at the wedding will sign it. And I just think it's going to be so gorgeous because it'll be a piece that we'll be able to put in our home, and it'll just always remind me of home because, I am from Kentucky and I get homesick a lot. I miss the South quite a bit. And I think that I have a lot of pieces in my wedding that bring Kentucky to Colorado. And there's obviously so much Colorado in the wedding as well. And I'm so excited. Like one of the things that I think is very unique to the wedding that I'll be doing that just reminds me of myself because I was always told when I was younger, I'm such a little hippie flower child. And I would move to Colorado, of course. And I'm going to be walking down the aisle with no shoes. And it's just going to be so much fun because it really feels like walking down the aisle with no shoes is just me. And that's just who I am as a person. And I'm going to have all of my girls walk down the aisle with no shoes. And I'm just so excited for that because I feel like that is such a personal touch that is so unique to me. And it'll be very well known that I walk down the aisle without shoes on.
I love that. I think that is amazing. Like I said, when after I walked down the aisle, I immediately ran to my dressing room and put on my slippers, and those things did not come off the rest of the night. So I think you're going to be comfortable. I think it's going to be cute, and it's just going to go with the whole aesthetic of all that you're bringing to that day. So I love that.
I'm very excited.
Well, Courtney, let's transition a little bit and tell our followers how you're feeling with the whole wedding process. I know for every girl it's a little different. Some people really enjoy the planning process and others find it extremely stressful and the last thing they want to do. So how are you feeling being so close?
I think I've gotten to the point where I am like I take a deep breath and I'm just like, whatever happens at this point is going to happen. In the beginning, I was so, here's how I want things. But what I've learned is through this process is so much has changed. My flower look is so different than it was 1 year ago when I started that Pinterest board. Everything that I thought it was going to be is so much different, but I think it's such a good representation of who I am. And I feel like for me, I definitely have been stressed. I definitely have had those moments where I freak out. And I think that every woman is going to go through that. But I think if you can sit down and come out of it on the other side, you'll be stronger as a person. And really what I've been doing is praying more and asking God for help through this transition because it's very big transition. And I think that honestly, it's brought me so much closer to God and Jesus and just love and what I want for myself. So I think for me, how I've been feeling is one, overwhelmed, but two, also, I've just been putting my faith in God and knowing that it will all work out and taking that deep breath and just trying to make, when I do feel negative feelings or I do feel overwhelmed, because that is the biggest feeling that I feel that's probably the most negative is feeling overwhelmed. When I do feel that way, allow myself to feel that way, work through it, don't deny it, and then come out on the other end and take a deep breath and just put your faith in God's hands and just know that like everything is going to work out. And like I said, you are going to be overwhelmed and there are going to be moments and you're going to have to walk through that. But on the other side, it's such a beautiful deep breath of, ah, I feel better, right?
Well, and just like I told you, I think at the very beginning of all this too, I mean, I was there preaching, hey, it is all going to work out no matter what it looks like, no matter if the flowers are perfect, no matter if the candle fixtures are what you want, it is all going to turn out one way or another, even if you're missing the little bit of pieces that you just really, really wanted. You're not going to notice it on the day of because you're going to feel like the most beautiful, most amazing person in the whole entire world marrying this other amazing person that you love, that you want to cherish the rest of your life with. And it's all going to be full circle. So, and like you said, just finding that faith and putting that trust in the God along the way, He is going to have it all figured out for you when that day comes. So,
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
very excited.
that. Love, love, love. Well, any advice that you might have then for brides or the people prepping for these big moments? I mean, you're feeling this way, right? What is some advice for others?
You really want someone to walk through the planning with you. If that's a friend, if that's a mother in law, someone that will do it with you, because again, you are going to feel very overwhelmed. And I think for me, when I'm trying to be grounded in these moments, I find my friends and my family on the weekends and I talk to them. They talk me through some of these absurd thoughts that maybe come through my mind or feelings or just overwhelming, of getting married. And so I think if you have someone to work with you and walk through you on this journey, that can be your fiance, but I think it needs to be someone outside of your fiance because there are going to be times where you need advice from maybe a woman. And I think if you are a woman, having another woman that has been through it and and that can help you along the way, because I am surrounded by so many good women that I think that that is what has helped me throughout this planning. And I think that if I were to plan this without so many incredible women, I would not be in the place that I am today. So I really would suggest if you get engaged and you're starting to plan this wedding, reach out to your friends, ask for advice, talk to your mother in law, talk to your mom. For me, I had a wedding planner on top of that, which was huge. So I really believe in surrounding yourself with good, true women that have walked through it or are willing to walk through the journey with you.
Courtney, thank you for sharing that advice. I think everyone needs that when you're in this time of your life and just planning, especially being this close to the wedding. Now, I do want to bring in some rapid fire questions. I think it'll be fun for our listeners just to hear some highlights and what's going on until this big day. So, for the first one here, what part of the wedding are you most excited for? I mean, just when you think about it all, what are you most excited for on the day?
That's such a good question. I think it's really for me, it's in between the ceremony and like walking down the aisle and just seeing Brett for the first time because we're going to separate ourselves and the after party because it's like everything is wrapped up and being, with your closest friends and at the after party and just seeing how that all turns out. I think I'm in between both of them, but I think I'm most excited for, as I'm speaking this right now, I'm realizing that I'm most excited to walk down that aisle and just see Brett at the end of the aisle and make that commitment.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Okay. Let's go to the next one real quickly here. So, what's your signature drink at the wedding? What do you guys do?
Okay, this one's a good one. So my signature drink is going to be a spicy marg. I'm actually going in between a spicy ranch water and a spicy marg. I think I'm just going to do a spicy marg because those are just, those are my favorite. And then Brett is going to do an old fashioned. And they're going to be named after our kitties, Gucci and Rascal.
I love that. I that was the one thing, it's easy for dogs to be at those big days, but I feel like it's not easy to bring your cats to those big days. And I wanted nothing more than my Oscar to be there on my
I know. And Abby was laughing. She sent me a picture the other day or yesterday of somebody who had a baby stroller with the cat, and the baby stroller had flowers in it, and the cat had a little tie on and was sitting straight up like this. It was the cutest thing I'd ever
My
seen.
cat would never
I
stay
was like, Rascal would be so cute in a little tux.
with a little, like a little pink or green bow tie. Oh my god.
Yes. But Brett is just thinks that's too extra, which is fair. And I just don't want to put anybody in charge of the cats. So
Yeah, no, that's so fair. One day we'll figure out or we'll figure out how to do it by the time we have kids, right? Well, another fun one. I don't know if you want to answer this, but what is the first song you'll dance to as a married couple?
yes, I will answer this because it's super fun. We are going to dance to the song Starting Over by Chris Stapleton.
Oh, I love
I'm very
that
excited.
song.
Actually, there is some roots to that. So when we first met, it's a crazy story. I think I've talked about it before, but when we first met, I was actually moving to Colorado at the time and I got into a car accident and I couldn't fly at the time from Utah to Colorado. So Brett picked me up and drove me. And one of the songs that came on as we were driving was Starting Over. And I looked at him and I said, "This is our song." And ever since then, it's been a song that we've always reflected on. And we always felt like, us two getting together felt like we were just starting over our lives. And it's such a beautiful song. So I'm very excited.
I love Chris Stapleton, but the two of you dancing together to it is going to be even better. So
So cute. I'm so excited.
well, one more question here, Courtney, and we're going to wrap things up after this, you guys. So, most random thing you've obsessed over in planning. We talked a lot at the beginning what you've been planning, but what was that one thing you were just stuck on or that you've been stuck on?
Honestly think for me it was the flowers for a little bit there. I changed them so many times that I am surprised I even did that. But I was really obsessed with the way that they looked in videos and pictures, and I ultimately decided on a white rose for the wedding because I just felt like it was so timeless, and I just wanted it to be timeless, really. And we're doing some white roses and some pink roses. So I'm very excited for that. And I can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. So, well, guys, this was fun here today. Like I said, we wanted to bring you guys back to have a taste of Courtney's wedding process, planning, and the big day that's coming up. We just only hope that if you're in the process of wedding planning and you're needing some help, some support, that we can maybe be someone that's there for you in this. Whether you're listening to our podcast, you would like to reach out, subscribe so you can listen to more. We'll keep filling you in as things get closer here. But until next time, we are going to have some fun things in the behind the scenes. We have special guests coming on, so stay close for next week. We will let you guys know more soon. So,
Yeah. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with some friends. And always share your wedding stories. We're totally open to listening and sharing. We love you guys and have a great Sunday. Bye, everyone. Bye.